I got into an argument with one of my buddies today because he seems to think that of all the decades from the past 100 years, women were the most beautiful in the 1960s. And I think that that's incorrect. So I figured I would come on here and prove to him that 80s girls were the most beautiful of all. By dressing up as one myself. Now, in order to transform into an 80s glam diva, I had to do a lot of research and order a bunch of tulle. So for any Gen X baddies that might be out there watching, I hope I do you justice. And if I don't, it's not my fault. Reaganomics ruined education. Now, 80s glam makeup is not super complicated, but it does follow a few specific rules. We start off with just regular foundation like normal. They were all about full coverage back then, so I may have to do 2 layers. And they did use concealer as well, so we can go in with that just like we usually do. But then things start to get weird because back then they didn't do bronzer or contour, they just set everything with powder. So that's just what we're gonna do. The next thing we're gonna do is eyeshadow, but this is where things get kind of tricky. 80s glam is known for pinks, turquoises, and purples, but back then they didn't have the kind of pigment that we have now. So while your first instinct might be to go in with a palette that's super vibrant, it's probably more accurate to go in with something that's more pastel-y. So I'm just gonna start with this more muted blue right here, and I'm gonna put that right on the inside of my lid. Then after that, I'm gonna go in with this sort of gentle pink right here, and I'm just gonna put that right along here. And again, we don't want this pigment to be too bold. We want it to have this sort of like soft feel to it. Then finally, I'm just gonna go into this purple up here, and I'm just gonna put that along the top right here. And then finally, we can go in with a shimmer, which they called a frost, and we're just gonna tap that along right there. Next, we go in with eyeliner. I don't have a pencil, but this is basically gonna do the same thing. And first, we're just gonna kind of apply it right along our lash line. Then once you've gotten it all over the place like me, you just smudge it out. And the last thing that really makes this look authentic is a magenta leaning blush. And apparently the vibe is to just lay on as much as you possibly can. Then all we have left to do is grab a lipstick that has a metallic sheen to it. It does. Lots of mascara. And finally, the accessories. Okay. I think if I put on a flannel, it'll work. Hold on. Actually, this is kind of accurate. Anyway, Gen Xers, let me know how I did. I think I crushed the makeup.
Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.